Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, drew bullish reactions from CNBC commentators and Wall Street analysts after the chipmaker posted strong first quarter results fueled by accelerating AI and server demand. CNBC's Christina Partsenevelos reported on Tuesday that AMD's quarter underscored broad-based AI demand, with the data center business driving growth, and in fact, the data center business being the primary driver of growth. She noted that data center revenue surged 57% year over year to a record $5.8 billion. And this was supported by strong demand for server CPUs and GPUs. Partsenevelos said the results reinforced a broader CPU renaissance tied to agentic AI, echoing recent commentary from Intel, ticker INTC, and expectations for ARM Holdings, ticker ARM. She added that CEO Lisa Su pointed to stronger than expected customer forecasts for AMD's next generation MI450 GPUs and Helios rack scale systems. She also noted that AMD raised its long-term outlook for the server CPU market, with Su now expecting the total addressable market to expand more than 35% annually and exceed $120 billion by 2030 as agentic AI adoption accelerates. However, Partsenevelos flagged that AMD's data center revenue increased only modestly sequentially, raising questions about whether Taiwan Semiconductor, or ticker TSM, whether their capacity constraints could limit AMD's near-term growth, because the company depends heavily on Taiwan Semiconductor. We also saw their gross margins tick down for the first time, and that's likely why the first reaction was down. Susquehanna analyst Chris Rowland described AMD's quarter as, quote, fantastic, end quote. He did that to CNBC on Tuesday, citing accelerating AI and server demand. He said Lisa Su highlighted growing AI orders, strengthening server demand, and increased supply expansion efforts to meet customer needs. Rowland argued that agentic AI is fueling a server renaissance, with AMD leading the trend through its server CPU business. He added that AMD's Helios rack scale, He added that AMD's Helios rack scale architecture and MI AI GPU positions the company as one of NVIDIA's top competitors in what he described as a $1 trillion AI market. He also said AMD's valuation remains reasonable at roughly 30 times Susquehanna's 2027 estimates because the company's growing positions across its AI CPUs and its GPUs. Rowland said the semiconductor industry remains in a, quote, sweet spot, end quote, of the current chip cycle, with strong AI-driven demand supporting elevated valuations across the sector. According to him, investors currently favor hardware companies over software firms as AI infrastructure spending accelerates. And actually, I believe that Jay Rice was saying exactly that in the chat yesterday. We'll have to ask him when he returns from being down the dial. Looking ahead, Rowland identified AI power infrastructure as the next major semiconductor growth opportunity, driven by rapidly increasing power demands from next-generation AI systems. He said companies including Infineon Technologies, which is a ticker IFNNY on the OTC, On Semiconductor, ticker ON, huge winner for us yesterday, Analog Devices, ADI, and Texas Instruments, ticker TXN, could benefit, particularly those with exposure to silicon carbide and gallium nitride technologies. Meanwhile, Partsenevelos noted that AMD's adjusted earnings per share of $137 and revenue of $10.3 billion both topped Wall Street estimates. She added that AMD guided for second quarter revenue of $11.2 billion, which was ahead of analyst expectations, while forecasting gross margins to improve to 56% from 55% in the first quarter. So AMD, great report. Stock is absolutely popping. We'll see where it ends up going here today. Congrats to all of you that were trading this.